God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!
You just start. Yeah. Just go. It's 13 minutes. The natives are restless. Can I say that anymore? Oh, yeah, I can, because I don't give a fuck. Oh, there goes monetization. All right. So, you know, I have a beep. Wait, I could beep myself. Wait, I can go, mother.
Great.
Why would you do that?
Well, I don't know, but I know your mother. That's right. What's up, everybody? Damn. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I come from my mom's vajayjay. I'm here with Chris Gore. How's it going, dude?
It's going great. I'm halfway through The Last of Us, and I really like it. So, liking that. And then I'm just suffering a little bit of a hangover from being at the Critics' Choice Awards. They sat us at the kids. But Alan and I went to the Critics' Choice Awards. We're voting members of that organization. So, you know, I was in the room and then out of the room. So there you go. And just seeing sort of how the sausage is made of award shows. So, so still
only 900,000 people watched it.
Well, no one ever really watches that show. It's I mean, the Critics' Choice has been on the CW. It never did huge ratings, but its claim to fame is being important when it comes to Oscar nominations. It usually predicts not only the nominees but also the winners. When you look at the winners of Critics' Choice, you're basically just getting a preview of what's going to happen at the Oscars. So I wasn't
a bunch of movies nobody saw.
Exactly.
And Brendan Fraser should get an award just for being Brendan Fraser, and then Short Round should get an award because I love that story. I think it's great.
Kihei Kwan, Brendan Fraser both won. You know, I don't know, but these movies, the problem is that they don't sort of mix in more mainstream successes, and I think there's even more of a just a lack of interest on the part of the audience for, you know, these smaller awards types films like, you know, The Whale and whatnot. So, but I mean, I feel like Brendan Fraser got it because he's just very likable. His, you know, real life story is, you know, he was in the industry and then he was out and making a comeback. And I think people like underdogs and people like, you know, people that stay in the industry and have a comeback. So, you know, I'm not surprised, but it's just, I think award shows as a genre, I think are just fading. And I think that the type of movie that is getting awarded or accolades is just becoming more and more. I mean, I could name off a bunch of the movies. I guarantee you've never seen them, Gary, and probably have no interest.
No, the Harvey Weinsteining of the awards with all the small movies has just got to go. We need, you know what, like the other ones that are going to, Top Gun should be there. I didn't like Avatar. It should be there. Spider-Man No Way Home should have been nominated for Best Picture. Probably should have won because it saved freaking Hollywood's ass when it came out. You know, popularity and fun should account for something. You know.
Well, it just a balance, right? I mean, the problem is there's only one type of film being nominated, only one type, right?
Yeah, and it's usually not always dramas, right? The biggest fantasy in Hollywood is trying to depict real life from that town. I mean,
right. It's ridiculous. So I think that's the issue. It used to be a good mix of like, well, there's mainstream stuff, and then these smaller indie movies or art house films that have a small audience, and then you would root for them because there'd only be a few. Now it's dominated by movies that people don't see. And look, I work in that realm, right? Like indie film is my thing. I know those films, and there are good ones, and there are a lot of bad ones, frequently bad ones. Okay. But I think it's important to have balance, and they're just way out of balance. Hey, X-Ray Girl, what's up?
Hi. I'm excited for this.
Your voice is back.
I know, it's kind of weird. I know people are complaining and crying that I probably don't have my sultry sick voice.
Well, maybe she should start smoking,
I don't
cigars,
smoke.
a pipe, maybe.
I
Maybe
mean,
those pipes that they smoke, where was it? In China? The opium ones? Is that bad?
oh, you want me to start smoking opium before the show?
Hey, for the audience, okay?
It's for the audience.
For the audience.
I don't even know where one gets opium.
Well.
Guys, I don't do drugs.
I'm just going to imagine that you didn't get in the club last night, that you were behind the velvet rope, your girlfriends were getting catty, and you had a terrible night out and didn't even get in the club.
She got kept out by the guy from the OneRing.net.
I just screamed at him all night as if I was on Twitter and I was those people that scream on Twitter.
Check your ID, the guy from the OneRing.net.
You know what's funny?
You went home early, right? And then
I've
you went
actually
home
been
early.
ID'd.
It feels
and
good
they
when
think that
happens.
it's not me in the picture because it's when I was 16 and I was 23 at the time. Power makeup.
Okay.
And I got kept out of the club. I was so
you got kicked out of the club. You went home early and read a book, and so that's why your voice is the way it is.
She went home.
Oh yeah, I read a book.
Read a book
on YouTube. Yes.
Welcome, Rooster. I just lost your name? Rooster Cogburn. Thor's World. Thank you for the super chat. We'll get to it in just a sec. Steve, spelled Steve. Cool Cat, Lord Thoth. Shagath 88. Just another red shirt. Mark Lerzeth. Shark. Oh, dentures. I knew that the one. Alexander Vilikovsky. I know I said that wrong, but that's the only way I can pronounce it. Manowar 665, the neighbor of the beast. What's up, dude? Hey, Wizards of the Coast. That's what all this super chats are about. Like, fuck Wizards of the Coast, those bastards. Sassy Lass, Key Lime Kayla, my sober sister. How are you? Oh, I saw your tweet. That's bad. Sorry about that. Sorry about what happened. What's up, Oakley Vandal? How's it going? Welcome to the Nooner. It's always good to have a Nooner. I'm tired. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm burnt. I was up super late last night finishing a video. Garrett was up later. That's why he's not here. Garrett's he's either asleep or working on the video. I'm just like, I keep on saying, okay, this one will be a little simpler than the last one, and it was, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think simple's in the cards for us anymore. Just don't. Yo, cheers to you, you fracking bigots. That's what they said. Yes, that's like I said yesterday. We put the big in bigots. Okay. Good afternoon, Divina. Is it Divina or Divina? Divina or Divina? Or just Divine? I don't know. Bad Pumpkins Comics. What's up? All right. Well, Chris, member of the elitist Hollywood mafia that went to the Critics' Choice Awards that were watched by 900,000 people in the CW, which is kind of impressive considering the CW. Right. Last of Us came out. I talked about Velma yesterday. I don't know if you've watched Velma, Chris.
I have not seen Velma, but Alan has been
over. Oh, and what did he think? What did Alan Ing think?
Oh, he 69? Hated it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 69. He hated Velma with a passion. Watched the first 2 episodes. Is the 3rd episode today, or is it? I don't know what
that is a good question. It may be. It feels like we're coming up on a week now, but yeah, it feels like. Is it today, chat? Let me know. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it because I'm not gonna do a video on it. I think enough has been said. It does feel like Santa Inc. to me all over again,
right? And
it'll just disappear. I think it is important culturally to talk about, but I just don't want to do a freaking video on it. God,
but it's almost like, the more I find out about it, it sounds like a parody of like, let's, make jokes and do a parody of woke culture. It's so predictable. It's so predictable.
Yeah.
And it's certainly something that I don't think it could get made now, but I think that, obviously animation takes a lot longer. So, but yeah, it just seems like a parody. The more I've watched a lot of videos about it, I'm not going to watch the show. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Shoe on Head did a video about it. I'm like, wow, Drinker did. I'm like, I'm just not. It's Streisand effect. Not that. I mean, do videos on it, like absolutely, like cover it all day long. It's just I was doing something I thought I was more interesting. That's all. And I've got other stuff to do lined up. There's no shortage of shit. Even in this slow time, there is no shortage of stuff to cover. Mandalorian trailer dropped yesterday, season 3.
I watched it during Monday night. I watched it during Monday Night Football, and I was like, and then I just finished. Well, I forgot that I saw it, and then it showed up. I watched it again, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like anything special. What are we leading to? Where are it just, I don't know, the enthusiasm for it. And some people were doing like a live reaction. And then I saw almost no other videos about it. It sort of came and went. They're going to, sort of crib some ideas, it seems, from Heir to the Empire, but without Luke, Han, and Leia. So who cares? Thrawn is going to be in it. And then
they're
Gina
setting
Carano's
up Thrawn,
character.
I guess, for Ahsoka, right? So oh God.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't involve the characters, the legacy characters that they screwed up in the sequels. It's these other characters that Disney has created. And I don't know. I just felt like it just didn't matter. And it's so weird to have that feeling, just as someone who's been a lifelong Star Wars fan, you look forward to any little morsel of something. And the sequels was just the biggest letdown because, and then because of that, it's like sort of like Kenobi I was interested in. That was just a fail across the board.
It was abysmal.
Ill-conceived, but I don't know, it didn't register with me. It's like, okay, cool. So how are they going to explain that Grogu was given to Luke and then now he's just back? Like, all right, maybe you shouldn't have done that to begin with. I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't. Where did that article go? God dang it. Is it old? I just saw it. There it is. Okay. Bounding did an article on and like all roads lead to the sequel trilogy still. Okay. And by the way, that has been absolutely confirmed within Mandalorian already. And Bounding goes into that, right? So like this is I don't know what else to say other than this is where it's going. This is where it has been going, and that has not changed. And it won't change.
Yeah.
And I don't care if Kathleen Kennedy could leave today. So what? That'd be like the captain of the Titanic resigning right before the last part of the ship hits the water. The latest Mandalorian trailer appears to again confirm all roads lead to the sequel trilogy. Abomination. I love you, John. The Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm released their latest trailer for the Blandalorian Season 3, and it's another piece of evidence that all roads lead to Disney's abomination of the sequel trilogy. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Boba Fett jacked up the Mandalorian badly by completely undoing the entire end of Season 2. And now he's going to go back to Mandalore, and there's going to be the Black Saber and all the stuff from Rebels and shit. And
it just feels like we're in the territory of bad fanfic. That's where it is, made by people who don't love the source material. So that's where that's where I kind of feel about it. I mean, I think just apathy, I think, is the correct word. How I feel about Star Wars, and I think George Lucas was smart in the sense that you've got to put these things on ice for a bit and bring them back. They don't immediately go. When they reboot James Bond, right? They do it. They'll have a certain Bond, and then it goes away for a little bit before they introduce a new Bond, right? That might be smart. I mean, Star Wars went away for a long time before the prequels came out.
To the point where we didn't even think the prequels were coming out.
Right.
It just got stopped being talked about.
And then George, like, he does his, that's it. It's the 6 Star Wars movies. There are none. Even though I remember Time magazine, George Lucas was on the cover. I used to read Time and Newsweek when I was a kid. I was a weird kid. Okay, so yeah, Time magazine, George Lucas was on the cover when Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. I remember reading that article, and he had to explain how, well, this is the 5th one. There'll be prequels, and we're going to make like 12 or 15 of these. That's what George Lucas said. And it was going to be a series of trilogies, each trilogy kind of telling a story. And at the time, he was like, there might be 12 or 15.
Yep. And then it went down to 9. Mark Hamill talked about 9. 9. And then, when and I was with you, when the prequels came out, George was so soured. He was done. He's like, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I'm fine with that. And it seems, well, what was hanging on was the comics, the EU. Those were pretty popular. People were buying a lot of the comics, a lot of the books. Toys were still coming out, but it wasn't like nuts.
Yeah, and don't forget the video games were huge. TIE Fighter, X-Wing, all the add-on packs. I was addicted to those, played all of them. At the time in the 90s, I was editing a video game magazine called Video Games, and I got to go to Skywalker Ranch and visit LucasArts and go to the company store. It was cool. There was a great
I've been there too.
You have? Okay. Have you seen the library? Did you get a tour of the library?
I got a tour of the library. I almost touched a painting I wasn't supposed to touch. I got to tour the music where they did the soundtrack where John Williams was. That ratty couch that's in where the orchestra plays. Yeah, I got to tour the whole facility. I went to the gift shop. I had lunch there. I went to the gift shop and bought an Emperor's cane.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
got
then
a bag.
I got to go.
Kept my receipt. Everything.
Yeah, no, I did the same nerdy thing, but it was weird because when I was there, I saw Luke's lightsaber, like the actual prop of Luke's lightsaber under glass. And apparently George Lucas walked behind us, just sort of being there. It doesn't, and then the publicist didn't say anything. It was guiding us around. Didn't want to bother him, which is fine. And then we saw the media room that had every sort of device and video game system. You just had to press a button and it went on the big TV.
And that library he got for part of it was from the United Artists, right? And it's fucking huge. It is massive. I saw George and Rick McCallum were in the front door right when we walked in.
Wow.
And they were working on Revenge of the Sith when I went there.
Oh my God.
Yep. Buddy of mine got me in, had trouble getting in. I was on a do not allow in list. And it had something to do with my felony. Yeah. It took my friend and his friend who worked for Lucasfilm to talk him into letting me in because I made the trip all the way out there. I was like, it's probably because my felony, I'll just go, or I'll hang out in the car. You guys go in, whatever. But no, I got let in.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's I miss those days. Do you remember this thing called Shadows of the Empire?
Yeah.
With Dash Rendar. So Shadows of the Empire was this thing. It was a Lucasfilm announced it it was a media event. So they did a soundtrack, which I have the soundtrack to it. They did action figures. They did a video game. They did books,
comics.
And comic books. The concept behind it was, well, we're just going to do all the merchandising. We're just not going to make a movie. Right. I thought it was kind of an interesting, it's like, oh, that's an interesting concept. And I actually really liked the soundtrack to it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I could have adapted that,
Yeah.
Why? No, they did full cast audio dramas for Dark Empire 2, which I still own. That were really good. Really, really good. I liked a lot of that stuff. I like Star Wars Infinities, the alternate stuff. Thought that was freaking awesome. Now it all sucks. Now it's all shit. And I don't care anymore. So much so. I looked at my wall. Fucking these ads, John. Hang on. Dude, you're getting like bleeding cool. Stop it. Just stop it. The inclusion, and no, I'm not going to put ad blocker on because it messes with my stream. The inclusion of Frick. So Babu Frick is in the trailer, and the same alien species, which connects it directly to the Disney trilogy. But what was also in The Mandalorian were Snoke clones. So I would call that a pretty definitive connection to the Disney trilogy. So I don't know if it's just like denial or nobody gives a shit, or we're just going to enjoy this. But and this will apply to The Last of Us when we talk about it in just a moment. It's like, oh, we're going to watch this, hoping Joel doesn't get 5-ironed in the back of it. He's going to. He's absolutely going to. That's positively going to happen. Absolutely going to happen.
I don't know the story of the video game. You know, I've watched some videos and trailers for it.
Sorry to ruin it for you, but the second video game sucked. And it's because of what they did to Joel. That's what I hear.
Oh, yeah, all I know is well, they might change it. I mean, look, they changed The Walking Dead quite a bit story-wise.
They did.
You know?
They did. I don't know if it was for the better.
Right.
But quite frankly, the comic fell off as much as the show did. So who gives a shit, you know?
Same here. I love that comic book. Read every issue.
Yep.
But like, you know, it just that whole concept of, well, I want to see it go on forever. It's like, no, you know, I don't think it makes, you have to eventually have to have an end for the story. And I stopped watching the show years ago, so I don't even know what happens. And I just didn't care. I think there is a, you know, you have to have the end point. The same thing happened with Lost, right? It's like, no more, you know, 25 episodes this season, whatever, you know. And I think Star Wars is going through that. More is not good. More is not better. Less is more.
I haven't had to fit. You don't need, if you want your thing to go 10 or 11 seasons, you're going to have to change out half your cast anyway. So what you do is you plan out 5 seasons and then you change it. And if it goes on, fine. If it doesn't, whatever. But like that, you know, Straczynski's method with Babylon 5, freaking awesome. Just brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. And he was one of the first. The inclusion of Frick in the new trailer for The Mandalorian also comes in the wake of rumor from Star Wars scooper Jason Ward. Oh, good old Jason Ward. Good old Jason Ward. At Making Star Wars, just praying this mediocre shit that comes out on D+ keeps their channel going. Little unsolicited advice from your old pal Gary on content creation. Don't put all your eggs that are very expensive right now in one basket. Okay. Do not do that content wise. Don't be a Star Wars channel or a Game of Thrones channel. Just don't do it, because your whole livelihood depends on that show being around and being a thing. Ward claims the Praetorian Guards from The Last Jedi will appear in the 3rd season as guards of Moff Gideon. He even shared an image of what the Praetorian Guard design looks like. Well, isn't it the same? He claims the design was given to him from an inside source in Lucasfilm. I could give a fuck. Is that a body positivity Praetorian Guard? No, it's a little chunky. Maybe it's a little buff. Maybe, I don't know. They're going to connect this to the Disney trilogy, folks. And then they're going to tear Star Wars down, and then they're going to remake the original trilogy and the prequels too. Wow. They might even remake them in streaming television show form.
Oh, that's terrible.
That is my prediction. It has been my prediction for years. And I thought if you're going to remake Star Wars, you base it completely on the radio show, for one, if you're going to do a series. But no, we're going to have Lucy Skywalker, Hanna Solo, and Prince Leia. That's what we're going to have. And he will be the damsel in distress. Back in March 2022, Ward also claimed, a source told me the Praetorian Guards are in it with their weapons, just like in The Last Jedi. They also mentioned that the Red Stormtroopers costumes with Mando-style helmets were, who cares? He said he spent on to speculate that the guards are related to the cloning story arc and maybe even Snoke himself. Then we have this, what looks like a Order 66 flashback in this picture? Could be wrong. Could be, I don't know. I don't care. As for Snoke, while he speculated about him in March 2022, his most recent rumor that includes the photo of the guard noted that he did not have any specific pieces of evidence pointing to Snoke's appearance in The Mandalorian Season 3. However, he noted that a scoop from 2021 regarding Andy Serkis' role in Andor indicated he is doing motion capture work, despite Andor supposedly not having any motion capture work in production. Thus, Ward speculates that... I'm already bored. Sorry. Not sorry. But here, there you go. That is Snoke. As a part of ongoing cloning arc that involves the Empire wanting Grogu's DNA, The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 4 episode saw Din Djarin, Cara Dune, who's now gone, and Grief Karga, and the Mithril discover an Imperial laboratory that appears to show a failed Snoke clone. That's exactly what it shows. They also cloned the Emperor himself. On top of this, other references throughout the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, the show's executive producer, Jon Favreau, also had reportedly indicated that the show would lead to the Disney sequel trilogy. Yes, he did. While promoting the first season of the show, Favreau told Entertainment Weekly also what could happen in 30 years between celebrating the defeat of the Empire and then the First Order. You come on episode, whatever, the First Order are here, 9. 9! Not just starting out, they're pretty far along. So somehow things weren't necessarily managed as well as they could have been. Isn't that great to hear after you watch Return of the Jedi? They just fucked up. Fuck Disney.
It's just
fuck them.
Bizarre. Like, I can't imagine being a kid now and going, you've watched the first 6 Star Wars movies, maybe in that machete order that they suggest, right? You kind of watch episode 4, 5, then you go back and watch, part of the prequels. Then you watch the prequels. Then you watch Return of the Jedi. But are you going to watch Return of the Jedi and go, then you're going to go right to Force Awakens? That would be so depressing. We saved Han Solo, frozen in carbonite. Oh, his son killed him. Now
Walked
he's dead.
Into a light. I just,
It's such a dumb death. It's the dumbest death.
It is the dumbest death. And
all
part
of
the
all
worst.
of it.
It's the worst creative decision in the history of cinema. Period. Jar, everybody involved in that should be banished from anything creative. They can write instructions on the back of a Ritz cracker box or something. That's it.
Right.
Favreau has added, it became clear that within the established continuity, certain things were likely to transpire. I don't know what they're going to do. You know what? Carl Weathers did come out and say on Twitter yesterday that he's happy to be part of the Star Wars multiverse. So that's going to get people just going. That's going to get people going. He said it. He said multiverse.
Yeah, I think he runs a Twitter account. He must run his own Twitter account.
I am just going to say I don't care. Like I said it yesterday. I hope they erase everything. I do. But if they erase everything, they'll just do it over worse, and they're not going to fix anything, and it can't take away what I've already seen. It's not like you're bringing back Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill for another picture. Okay? That chance is gone. So they fucked up the golden goose. They draped it to death. It's done. It's going. Star Wars is a streaming property, a direct-to-video property. It's like the Eisner days in the late 90s, before Bob Iger took over, when they were doing direct-to-video sequels to all their animated hits. Disney was. Remember that? Good time.
Yes, Bambi 2. I bought a bunch of those in clamshell video cases. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I had a bunch of those. They're all terrible. There's not a single one that's
freaking terrible. And yeah, they've turned this massive IP that was a motion picture, that was a a cinematic property into a middling streaming service. As I said when I did my freaking Rise of Skywalker review, I'm like, it is Star Wars has been reduced to a category on a basic streaming service. That's all it is now. It's just a category. It's got an expiration date. And it's sad, but you know what? It's been a while since, I mean, Andor might have been good. Don't really care. It sounds super boring, and nothing about Pedro Pascal being a voice actor, which he basically admitted. Did you catch that?
No, I never.
I don't recall anybody admitting it openly. So he's talking about his Last of Us schedule and how it worked, and he's all, well, you know, they just made it so I didn't have to be on the set very much.
Well, yeah, because you're basically the voice of the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
He's supposed to not take his helmet off. How many times did he take his helmet off in the 2 seasons?
twice, once, no, none in the first. No, in the first season he did when he was hurt. That's right.
Yeah,
and then when he was with Bill Burr, why am I blanking on his name?
Bill Burr's character.
Burr's character.
Yeah, whatever that character name
Bill
is.
Burr. Edgy comedian. I just had a brain fart. I told you I'm tired, man. I know Bill Burr. Ryan, for 50 British pounds. That's proper money. Says Netflix, Amazon, Disney can't possibly continue down this road of endless failures. Eventually, investors get nervous. Then board members get cranky, and that can lead to Chapter 11. So when is the reset coming, and how will it look? Well, you know, the WEF, the Empire is meeting currently right now, and they're working hard to make it look a certain way. I think it looks fractured. I think it looks decentralized. They overplayed the centralization hand, and it's just not possible. It's not possible with this many people, especially in a country that's still mostly free thinking, except in the larger urban areas. So I think it just looks fragmented, and I think that's good. I think it's good. Like, we're going to lose our a lot of our beloved IPs. Maybe they come back. You always want to give them a chance. Like, hey, people are going to watch The Mandalorian season 3. I even saw some people excited about it. Go ahead. Fuck, I don't care. That doesn't bother me. But you know, if I even muster enough gumption to give a crap to review it, just, you know, I get to say my piece too. That's how it works. But I'm gonna cover Picard season 3. Absolutely. 1000%. I'm seeing that one through, because I sat through the first 2 fucking seasons. So that's next month. That's kind of more what I'm focused on. Like, The Mandalorian just looks like it'll be more of the same, which is what I called it when I first saw it and reviewed it. I was like, this was right after the Rise of Skywalker. I think the first thing I said in my first review was, these are the guys you want to take over Star Wars. That's what I said at the time. I'm like, I kind of thought it was a good course correction. I still think season 1's the best.
Yes.
It was way more coherent, but it was still basically a live action cartoon. Real simple stories, real simple dialogue. They were taking the baby of baby steps with Baby Yoda, but it was fine. And then they Disney'd it, man. They notes, starting multiverses, digital Lukes, all this crazy shit. Because they're reactionary. There is no plan. They're reactionary. They're like, ooh, marketing data suggests that people really like this Baby Yoda everywhere. You know, it's like, ooh, you know.
Look, it got my girlfriend interested in watching Star Wars. So
yeah, but now the only people left watching it will be girls wanting to see Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda is just, you know, he's going to be a baby forever.
Yeah,
I don't care, and he's going to die or disappear because he wasn't in the Disney trilogy. Now, his death might interest me, but long live John Williams. Damn right. No, it's super Disney now. It's like really just Disney. It doesn't feel like Star Wars at all. And you know, I've made my peace with Star Wars, man, long time ago.
I mean, look, the same thing happened with Marvel. When you look at
It's
it's the Disney plusification of all these properties. They just become gentrified, right? I mean, I think this is true with any big corporation. When some big corporate entity like takes something over, it kills creativity. There's some people who can successfully navigate that, like a Chris Nolan or a James Gunn, that are like, F it, not listen to your notes, don't care, go ahead, who feel they're in a powerful in a position that they can walk away and don't care. And they've delivered when it comes to box office. I think the James Gunn's record for box office is pretty solid, and he can always point to that. But inevitably what happens to a lot of directors, they go to what they call, you've heard this term, Gary, director's jail, where they make one bad movie that tanks and they spent way too much money on, and then they kind of have to not make a movie for a couple of years. I don't think you can blame Christopher Nolan for the failure of Tenet. I mean, it was released, when movie theaters weren't even fully open yet, still doing that stupid social distancing,
Yeah.
in theaters where you couldn't.
And he's getting Oppenheimer, dude. That's going to be
Right.
huge. I mean, like, I don't know how many people are going to love the subject matter, but like, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I love the subject matter, and I like Nolan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
a
bunch of guys blowing shit up.
Well, if you know anything about George, and I know you do know a lot, but the book I would recommend is The Secret History of Star Wars. Get the audio book because it's done by a voice actor who does every voice. He does George Lucas's voice, Gary Kurtz, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill. Anyways, in this book, it really shows like how Lucas just was very anti-corporate. He was just he had offices in Hollywood, and he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to leave. And he moved to the Bay Area to get away from Hollywood. I think there was more than just creative reasons for it. I think Hollywood is kind of a cesspool. He saw that, and it was like, it reminds me of when I like first moved to Los Angeles in like 89, 90. And then my then girlfriend, who became my wife, like got pregnant. I'm like, I'm not raising kids in this, like,
dude, it was bad back then too.
It was bad. And I just was like, I don't want to be around
dying.
this. Yeah, I don't want to be around this. I want to just I want to do my thing, do my work, and raise my kids away from what I saw was just terrible parenting. I think it's worse now for different reasons. For different reasons, it's worse, but it was bad back then. And there was just like a weird way that people raise their kids. I'm not raising my kids like that. Not treating my kid's not my friend. And we're not going to smoke weed together when they're 11.
Jesus.
It's not going to happen. Among other things. But yeah. But George Lucas left. He was very, as much as like Lucasfilm became a big company, I do think that George did as much as possible when you hear about the business decisions he made to keep it a very much like almost like a family business, right? Like it's a small family business where we can be creative. And God, I think I was listening to you on Real BBC yesterday, and you were talking about Bacta tanks.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a complaint that George Lucas had when he saw, Force Awakens. It's like, because this was the cool thing, at least about the first few Star Wars movies, an idea would be used and never revisited again.
And never.
Never.
Because you, as the viewer, were walking through a completely different galaxy, and you were only showed little slices at a time. And each slice opened it up a little more. Especially Empire being so tonally and visually different than Star Wars. It was, I remember the first time, not to cut you off, the first time I saw the Empire Strikes Back trailer, I was like, what the hell? Because it was our trio being defeated, and it looked like people were genuinely in danger. And I'll never forget the door coming down in front of R2-D2 when he was trying to pull in. And this is the first TV trailer, and the door just slams down. And for some reason, I'm like, oh, that was fucking coolest thing I ever seen. I was 11, but it was so different, from something that was already so different. And it looks like it was clear they leveled it up. And
I just love seeing like Han Solo in like a winter jacket with fur around.
Yeah.
And, like the characters looked different, there was like, and so the thing when you brought up the Bacta tank, it was a really good point because it makes the universe seem small. Sort of like, when there's a Walmart in every town, you go to a Walmart, they carry the same shit.
Yep.
You're going to go to a Walmart, they're the same everywhere. Well, I guess in the Star Wars galaxy, no matter where you go, throw yourself in a back to tank,
Yep.
and you'll be fine. What that does is it shows the lack of creativity and innovation. And that this may even be true for like people who work on Disney Plus or, Star Wars shows. For Disney, like, I'm not going to use some of my best ideas. I can see the creatives behind the scenes. And I know you've talked to some, Gary, who like are like, why would I use some like this really cool concept idea? I can save that for another movie I write on my own. Why would I give that idea to Disney? Because when you work for these big companies, anything that you think of while you work for them, they own it.
They own it. And we got a little snippet of, I mean, fuck Zack Snyder, but I saw a little bit of Rebel Moon, which was supposed to be a Star Wars show. I was pitched as a Star Wars show that he's like, fuck it, I'll take it on my own, take it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's smart. That's smart. However good it is, we'll find out.
Right.
Oh, that Netflix movie list for this year looked shitty. Fucking terrible. Yeah. I think Extraction 2 and Rebel Moon are the only ones I give a fuck about. But I digress. You're right. I got thinking about that Empire trailer and how it just blew my mind. And this was back at a time where we didn't know I didn't know the trailer was going to be on TV. There wasn't like the Empire Strikes Back trailer is coming. It just fucking showed up in the middle of Rockford Files or whatever the hell my dad was watching, and I couldn't watch it again. So I just watched it there. And then like, I was stunned. I was like, oh shit, that was awesome.
But this is the thing, even if you look back at the prequel films, there were really interesting ideas that were introduced, and each of those movies feels a little bit different. Go back and like a rewatch of the prequels, they actually stand up better. They stand up better the test of time than I think the sequels ever will. And the sequels just revisit. You got a desert planet. You've got
yeah.
The most lame. I remember thinking it was so lame. Why does C-3PO have a red arm? Oh, I'll tell you the story later. We'll reveal it in a comic book. It's not even a cool idea. It was just
so Jar Jar can make money.
It was just the best innovation actually was BB-8. That was interesting. Oh, there's something we haven't seen before. Having said that, that should have been a behind the scenes character. It should have been all about R2-D2 or something. But that story, Force Awakens, is just hot garbage to me. I hated that movie, in particular the way they handled Han Solo's death. It's freaking awful. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, you're right. Star Wars introduced new worlds, new concepts, even through the prequels that were interesting, because that's how a fantasy world gets laid out, because Star Wars is more fantasy than it is science fiction. It is science fiction fantasy, and very much in that 70s tone when they were blended a lot through metal hurlant, heavy metal, all kinds of stuff like, just throughout the 70s. But Star Wars was the pinnacle of it. And that's what was cool about it. And you're right, back to tank everywhere. Don't you think other planets would have different healing? Not to take it back to Tolkien, but I will. He could have just made up one Elven language, not multiple Elven languages, but he did. And that's it makes sense. So, George Lucas is a fantasy author who never wanted to sit down and write a phone book fantasy. He just wanted to have the ideas and have other people do it. And for a long time, the cohesion wasn't perfect, but it was built pretty well till Disney showed up. Then they fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Thor's World for $20. Thank you. Says, hey all, today I had to listen to all my coworkers talk about the great Willow is, and that Maverick wasn't a good movie. Where do you work? Starbucks? Just kidding. It occurred to me that my industry makes entertainment for them, not fans. And so it's the industry. Okay. It's truly sad. Yeah, you're right, Thor. Okay. So you work in the industry. Starbucks, no difference. They do make it for each other. I mean, that's what the award shows have become. That's why, I mean, like the term circle jerk is very applicable.
True.
And they're making shit for each other. She-Hulk was written like an inexperienced TV writer was writing a show for other inexperienced TV writers who live their entire life in like West Hollywood or Burbank. That's it. And that's what Velma is. That's what fucking Blood Origin was. That's what Santa Inc. was. They're all in the same vein. And the fact that like there are two things to contrast these two, but like in a row, we got Rings of Power. She-Hulk, Witcher, Blood Origin, and Velma, like and Willow. I don't want to forget Willow. I stopped watching it, but like and National Treasure. So that's 6 like ultimately woke shitty things that have come out in the last or finished within the last 90 days. That's 6 things. That's the kind of shit we would cover over an entire year usually here on this channel when I started covering this stuff. That would be an entire year's worth of stuff. And it happened in the last quarter, essentially. So that's the acceleration. That's a good thing. But then there's the contrast. And this is where you can see the changes. I'll say with one show, with Tulsa King, I thought it was fucking awesome. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Just like Chris is not going to stop talking about RRR. And I guess at this point I should apologize for not watching it because I haven't had time.
Dude,
all right?
I will
Next week I'll watch it.
I'll watch it after we have our RRR discussion. It's just, to me, the RRR is the type of movie that should get exposure via awards, because if awards had any credibility, if awards recognition, I feel the problem is awards recognition doesn't have the kind of credibility it used to be, where you see like, oh, this won the award for best picture. This won this award. Maybe I'll check that movie out. It was a way to discover movies. And that's certainly the case, I think, with RRR. It deserves to be discovered. It is sort of a like, wait, subtitles, although you can watch it dubbed. You can watch it dubbed on Netflix.
What's freaking Hollywood out right now, Chris?
What?
Is that the credibility only comes with an audience, and they're losing it. So now they're in the death throes of being credible to each other with nothing, no currency to back that up anymore. None.
Yes. Yeah. It's but it is the type of film, because the type of film Hollywood used to make, and now other countries are making films Hollywood used to make, because I think that Hollywood is becoming, it used to be, I don't know what it is as an export now, looking at numbers, like, we all know that the box office is down by 50%, but how is that globally? And when you look at the way they change the marketing or just don't release movies in certain markets, right? It's very telling. It's very telling.
Excrement port. It's the export excrement.
Oh, possibly.
Miko has gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100. Thank you very much. Key Lime Kayla for $50. What are you doing? I'm glad. Okay. After you hear this super chat, you're gonna know why I asked her that, because she's awesome. Met her in Orlando. What up, sober big bro? 349 days strong still, my sober sister. Low point yesterday, as I've been on the job market since May 2020. Received another no yesterday after rounds of interviews. It was with Microsoft. Job markets suck, and they laid off another 10,000 folks this week. Yeah, wow. What's happening is everybody, we had that resign, that the great resignation, and people are going to have to go back to work pretty soon, and they're going to find out they don't have any. Right. Enter and just go to tons of meetings. I saw that you said you went to a meeting. Like, go to a meeting, go to 2 meetings if you have to. You'll get a yes eventually. Okay. There are parts of the country that are hiring. It's just, try the gig economy for a little while. That's what I'd do. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with just hustling to go make some money. But I wish you all the best luck. And the most important thing is you're sober. That's the most important thing. Everything else will work itself out as long as you stay sober. Goob for $50. Thank you very much. Says Goob, consider your love of Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I would have moved there if it wasn't so close to California, and it had insane COOF restrictions. So I'll just continue to visit. Being a Californian and now living in the South, you should watch the intro to Fallout New Vegas and tell me you aren't tempted to play that game. I feel like the Fallout universe is right up your alley. Well, let me tell you something, Goob. My youngest son adores it, loves it. It's his favorite thing in the world. That's his jam. That's Nerdrotic Jr.'s jam, is the Fallout universe. I might, maybe. I have a lot of television to watch. Chris, you watched how much of The Last of Us?
Like the first half.
Okay.
So right when we get to the sort of quarantine zone. I gotta say, I'm really hooked. I personally love zombie films and zombie stuff. I know you're not a huge fan, Gary, but like the 1968 Night of the Living Dead by George Romero is one of my favorites, and his
I like that.
trilogy. I mean, everything after, unfortunately, Day of the Dead is kind of not so great. Like Diary of the Dead. A lot of people don't even know that George Romero made a lot of these like super ultra low budget where he uses bad digital effects. Anyways.
Yeah.
But I love the zombie movie and television show genre. I think it's a way to talk about other issues, but not in a lectury way, just in a like, well, you could look on this as a comment about society, or you can just watch Tom Savini get ripped apart and eaten by zombies at a shopping mall. You know what I mean? Like that's from Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite movies, the original Dawn of the Dead by Romero.
Yeah,
which I saw in the theater when I was a kid.
No way, really?
Blew my mind. Yeah.
God, you're old.
Hell yeah. No, this was in the 70s, dude. So no, it's I love zombie stuff. So, and Walking Dead, we were talking before we started the stream. Both of us read the comic, and I fell off on the comic and I fell off on the show. Just felt like it was going nowhere. But what I like about what I've seen so far is that it's fully focused on character, story, building relationships. I didn't feel that there was any sort of message that was being thrown in. A little bit about like climate change, in the beginning, like, well, what if the planet got a little warmer? But not, I mean, whatever. I think science fiction has always kind of warned, I mean, every episode of The Twilight Zone is a warning about something, right? Like,
I totally agree. There's allegory in science fiction. That's what it's like. That's part of its tool. That was like what was great about Star Wars, though. Like there was, I guess, messages in, but nobody, like nothing overt. It was just a fantasy story of good versus evil.
It wasn't overt. It wasn't overt at all.
But
Not
like
overt.
like Star Trek Twilight Zone, absolutely overt, but it was always messages of humanity, the way I saw it.
Yeah.
Back in a time where stuff was kind of shitty, okay, for a lot of people. Rod Serling, greatest TV writer ever. So you're right. I watched it in two parts. I watched the first hour and then I watched the last 20 minutes. So I won't spoil it or anything. But I love the opening. Absolutely thought it was like it's the best. Like it's not as good as the rest of the episode, but the opening, the first, I guess the stuff there. I have no knowledge of the game other than what I've seen from my friend's Naughty Dog's video when Naughty Dog tried to cancel multiple friends of mine's channel. So fuck Naughty Dog. But I thought they did a really good job. I love that one opening scene back in 1968 with the talk show. Thought that was great setup. That was a great setup.
That was cool. I like the zombie stuff, that the zombies are not like, it's because it's unexplained in the George Romero verse, so to speak. It's never explained what brings. There's a little suggestion at the beginning that a satellite from another planet that crash landed may have been the cause, but they never explain it. I do like that there's sort of a broad explanation. And there's a really good, if you really want to go down a rabbit hole, watch a documentary called Fantastic Fungi. It's actually on Netflix with a voice narration by Brie Larson, oddly. But you can ignore
is it the fungi that comes from her feet?
Who knows?
Ew.
But it's a really interesting documentary about how little we know about fungus and how it's like it could be like the solve for all disease and like it's just it's also really beautifully photographed, like a nature documentary about fungus and how quickly they grow. Nothing grows quicker than fungus, right? Like in the wild, like it's incredible. So you could go down a really big rabbit hole if you want.
No, it was when I saw. I've said this before. Sorry for repeating, but I saw Shatner Sunday, and we watched Wrath of Khan, and then he talked about the movie and life, and he's at a reflective point in his life. Sharp as hell, was funny as hell too. I was laughing my ass off. But towards the end, he did his big Like, we need to save the world. He did a song at the Kennedy Arts Center that's some like "We Are the World" for the environment. It's like whatever.
Oh
Yeah. But he was also talking about like something I didn't know is the trees use the mycelium network to communicate with each other through like signals. It's fucking crazy. I don't know how they even figured it out. So like that in conjunction with the opening of The Last of Us, and then they're still stretching it. Okay. Especially when he goes, I think he said the fungi can't live above 94 degrees, but what if the world gets warmer? Well, I mean, unfortunately for that narrative, the world has been warmer multiple times just in the last 12,000 years. There was this whole medieval warm period that was warmer than it is now. I repeat, was warmer than it is now. So it already has been. That's nothing new. But in a science fiction sense, run with it. I don't really care because it was just one little passing mention. And I loved like how it was all from Joel's daughter's perspective. I know some people didn't like it but I have no game to refer to. So I like the fact that she was walking to the store, closes early. You see some jets going over, and you get a slow sense that something's going on, right? And then it goes into full chaos. And that part's cool. I always like that part. But then, like, I know where this show's going. It's going to Last of Us Part 2. I doubt they will change that. I think they really want to have their a Game of Thrones moment, we'll just say. And then after that, I think the show's deader than dead. Now, I'm not the biggest. Pedro Pascal's fine as an actor. He's an idiot in real life, an ungrateful Hollywood douchebag idiot. But he's like a mid decent actor. I think he gets way more roles based on his identity over his talent, because I think his talent's okay. I think it's okay. I don't know if he's leading man material. We'll find out. But I think without Joel and Ellie are the focus on the show, and that's what makes it different, I guess, than Walking Dead, which was more ensemble cast. But it's still going to devolve into a bunch of people being horrible to each other with some zombies. And I'll probably end up at the same point that I did at Walking Dead. I'm rooting for the zombies. I'm going for the fungi. That's who I want to win. So, I mean, I like zombies in movies, but long series, it's just nihilism, postmodernism. So it's interesting now, and it was well put together, well directed, well edited. It was, I think it was done by the people who did Chernobyl, which was a really good show. So no complaints about the first episode, but I can see all the pieces in set for a Westworld season 2.
I watched I think the first episode of Westworld season 2 and just didn't watch the rest. I thought the first season was fine. It told one good story, kind of showed that you could take it in another direction, but then you're depriving the audience of using their imagination of what could happen. There was no reason for it. I don't think there was a reason for season 2. It felt like a good sort of ending.
I totally agree. Like, just forget, season 2 is like a fever dream and a malfunctioning or the rest of the series that you don't have to watch. If you treat it like a Twilight Zone series and just go with watching it for one season, let your imagination do the rest after it's over, I think it's really good. There's better actors in it. There's better acting. The story's better. You could tell that they spent like 2 years making the first season, and you can tell. And not that much time doing the rest. Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan also fucked off to Amazon. That probably has a lot to do with Zaslav not only canceling their show, but removing it from the streaming service, which I thought was funny.
Wow.
They're petty in Hollywood. And we need to bring back petty and shame. And cocaine, probably. That would be my guess in Hollywood. That a lot of that needs to come back. As far as we were talking about Star Wars earlier. I saw still some people talking about it in the chat. For it to survive at all in the future, they need to stop making it for a minimum, and I'm not kidding, a decade. Stop making Star Wars for a decade, 10 years. Put it on the shelf, and and hope you can bring it back later, because it's just going to be diminishing returns. It's aging out. Kids don't give a crap about it anymore. That ship has sailed. So it'll like it like Star Trek. I went to that William Shatner thing, and I'm like, damn. Aside from a couple of hippies, I'm one of the youngest people here. And dude, we went to the Star Trek convention 2 years ago. Average age 45.
Yeah, I used to go to that Star Trek Vegas. Star Trek Vegas was a blast.
It was fun.
Go there, you just hang, you're in Vegas, then you would do, you would do that the ride at the Hilton, and they go to that bar. I remember bringing back like a case of like Klingon ale, right? It was just like you'd find like really weird collectibles. The panels were super nerdy, but the last time I went, I stopped counting the wheelchairs and oxygen tanks. I felt like I was freaking at like some senior living home. It really felt like that. I was like, and then I come to find out, like, I just thought it was sort of widely like, the new Star Trek kind of sucks. Apparently there are fans of it. I did kind of like that they do these little photo ops that were kind of fun, and you go in the dealer's room and there'd still be like obscure, rare, older stuff. But I think the last time I was there, I don't know if you were there. God, when was this?
Did you go in 2019?
I'm trying to remember if I know I went 2018.
I went 2018 too. We went 2018. And that was just to go to the convention. Like, I was still working at Tesla, and we were around, definitely around. And then we went 2019. That was prior to Koof, and William Shatner was there. So, again, we were like, I don't know how many chances you're going to get to see William Shatner. So I dropped down the ridiculous money to have Melissa, because Melissa loves the Shat. She just loves him.
Right.
So she took a picture with him on the bridge. I got a picture with him on the bridge and Q. And then we did the autograph thing so we can meet him. And I don't regret spending the money at all, to be honest with you. I got to meet Shatner. That was fucking awesome. But seeing him last Sunday was great. If you get a chance to catch this tour, he goes on with Wrath of Khan. Like, definitely go. It's worth it. Absolutely worth it. It's $60. It's worth every penny.
I'll go.
Yep.
If it's in LA for sure.
I'm sure he'll go back. He's doing Texas right now, and I know he's going to continue it after that. But yeah. Mindfully Stoic for $2 says X-ray girl plus sultry equals sexy voice jitsu.
Is that like a Naruto?
It might be. You are asking the wrong person.
Sexy ninja jitsu. I know about that.
Matthew Hammond for $9.99 says talk with Chrissy. She has a great idea for a skit for FNT involving Gary Quarterblack and Az, where you lampoon Adam Sessler on a podcast he was on. Oh, you mean like the dick, the pedo, and the shithead? That's the best way I can put it. Maybe that would be kind of funny. Taker 610 for $2. X-ray needs a red panda filter when she's on cam.
I don't know if my camera does that.
What is it, like a red panda, or am I missing? Is that code for something?
Asian? I don't know.
I don't know.
If you send me a red panda hat, I'll wear it. I don't think I would buy it for myself, though. If you really want.
Is there such thing? What's a red panda?
Yeah,
They're cute.
Do they exist, or is it just a cartoon thing? Is it like a panda with like?
They're super adorable. They look like a Asian raccoon.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I've seen these. They jump up like this when they're
so cute. Yeah, like this picture right here.
Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, that's adorable. Yeah. And they're probably just mean as hell. Scratch your face off. Diego Salazar for 450 Argentinian pesos. Bill Maher already had a new rules about it. Affliction movies are Oscar guaranteed. Keep up the good work. Greetings from Argentina. Yeah, Bill Maher occasionally will have a take that makes sense, and then occasionally sound like a moron. So,
oh my God, I saw him. I saw him recently at this party for the movie Elvis, and I didn't say anything to him.
yeah.
But I do like he will stand up and say things that are stupid on the left.
Yes,
which I like. But he was talking to 3 really attractive younger women.
He likes the younger women. He does.
Yeah,
Very young.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there you are.
Like
not obscenely young.
18, 19.
oh, but counting down the clock.
I mean, it's an adult. It's an adult. But he's older than me. Way older than me. He's older than you, Chris. Shit.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
That was mean. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
That's okay.
Inakbaman on the Streamlabs side for $25. What's up, brother? I saw 5 minutes of Velma. I had severe reactions ranging from nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and pissing blood. I went to my doctor for help. He said, watch any Clint Eastwood movie where he punches a woman. It cleared it right up. Thanks, Clint. Sean Connery would approve.
Wow.
Terrible. Outlaw Josie Wales. One of the greatest movies ever made. That movie will just make you feel better. And you'll be quoting it all day. Hey, Gary, have you seen the new Beavis and Butthead movie from Mike Judge? It's good. I haven't, but I will because I love Mike Judge.
It's great. It's great. It's on Paramount Plus. It's Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, and it's hilarious.
Okay, I'll watch it. Yeah. No, Mike Judge is one of the only real deals in Hollywood. Libertarian guy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Libertarian. Scratchpad. That was 10 Canadian pesos from Scratchpad. Thank you. Anakbaman for $10 more says part 2. Heartbreak Ridge is an underrated Eastwood movie. Eastwood quips and one-liners are funnier than anything you'll see in Velma, and comedy released in 5 years. Cop, I don't believe in no serviceman discounts. Eastwood, too bad your old lady does. Oh! Heartbreak Ridge takes place at Camp Pendleton, if I am not mistaken, which I grew up in the shadow of. I used to hear their war games all day. When I was a kid, you just hear explosions in the distance. It was just part of life in North County, San Diego. Tulsa King. Funny. It's actually pretty legit funny. It's got one of the guys from Silicon Valley in it. He plays the pot dispensary guy that gets extorted. But if you haven't seen Tulsa King, highly recommend it. It just wrapped up a couple weeks ago, so you can binge it. See, it was released weekly, and then you can binge it when it's done. See, you get both. It's not like you don't get to binge after they're released weekly. And then if you enjoy it like I did, you go watch it again, and then maybe do a review on it. Mega Reacts, $10. Star Trek has been ruined. Yes, it has. Star Wars has been ruined. Yes, it has. My God, I hope Babylon 5 remake never makes it out of development, especially for the CW. Speaking of Babylon 5, check out my Babylon 5 reactions. Mega Reacts, I will. I want to go back and watch Babylon 5 and Farscape, but I have committed to watching Stargate first, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. Matt Faction for 10 Canadian pesos. The greatest Western that I'll watch, the greatest Western that I watch all the time is Unforgiven. Old Western will be better. The Unforgiven is brilliant. It's brilliant. Apparently, Ghost is problematic, says Scott Chrissy Jones for £2 British. Well, is it racist like space? They should just call it spacist. Apparently, space is racist now. Did you hear that, Chris Gore?
This is news to me.
It's according to a woke white woman, so right. It must be so.
Wait, are we talking about space like space in the sky or the space around you?
No, we're talking about the space between your ears. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Here's a weird thing I thought.
I just to just ask. I'm like, I have to clarify.
It was there. I had to take it. Okay, it's mean, but sometimes you just got to go there. All right.
That was a good one. You should give yourself a rim shot.
X-Ray Girl is much smarter than me. Okay, I know that. The space in this the space that's outside of our very round Earth.
Oh, okay.
The vacuum.
I think I spaced out literally. I was just like, what space are we talking about?
Hello.
Need more coffee.
No, I do too. That's the kind of joke I would make to my wife. She'd punch me in the face. And she'd laugh. Okay, so Manowar, Neighbor of the Beast, for $6.65. Manowar turned me on to Manowar, a band I'd known but I just never gotten into, and I can't stop listening to them now because they're so fucking good. Metal is just the best. All right, it's the fucking best. I know some people like some, like different moods. I had okay, Doug, if you're out there, if you're in the chat, Doug Johnson, great guy. Gave me a job after I got locked up at the warehouse. And back in those days in the warehouse, it was prior to Britney Spears, so we could still play what we wanted on the sound system to a point. We couldn't, you can't have a bunch of F-bombs or anything, but you could play stuff. And everything I play would just be hard and fast. And he's like, Gary, you can't rock all the time. I am here to disprove that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, I listen to metal all the time. Manowar, Neighbor of the Beast, says TTRPGers, don't Matt Walsh me, bro. Fuck the OGL 2.0. Fuck Weasels of the Coast. Fuck has broken. Open D&D. D&D be gone. D&D people are kind of mad at Wizards of the Coast because they went corporate and then they went ESG, and that's how it goes. Ben Insider for $10. My favorite Western is Once Upon a Time in the West. Best quote, Pa said, never to trust a man who wears both a belt and suspenders. Man can't trust his own pants. This is true. Ben Insider for $5. I recently saw Me, Myself, and Irene and laughed harder than I have in a long time. It made me sad when I think the movies can't be made today. No, they can't. But they will be, Chris, because things are opening up. And I think one of the biggest things that's opening up that makes a lot of people angry right now is artificial intelligence, AI art.
Yeah.
AI art. That's going to open things up for filmmakers to where they will legitimately be able to compete against the big studios someday, which was not even a possibility 3 years ago. You can't compete against the institution that is Hollywood. But soon you will be. You will be able to.
Yeah, I just have concerns about certain things being obsolesced. Our mobile devices have obsolesced so many businesses. Look at what happened to the music business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I paid 99 cents a song. Now I could pay $15 a month to Spotify, and I have access to everything. And it
cheapens it.
It cheapens it. If you are willing to pay money for something, you're more careful about your decision making, right? If everything's on a streaming service, all right, well, I'm just gonna binge all of this, right? I don't know. There's just something about it that's just
no, you're absolutely right. You have access to
so
sorry.
Less money goes to the artist. Ultimately.
Less money goes to the artist, and now that you have access to everything all at once, you find yourself not accessing it at all.
Right.
It's there. I'll get to it later. It cheapens it. So, I think one of the best things the music industry has done is brought back vinyl. Bringing back vinyl was cool. I buy it once in a while. I don't get into the crazy collectible shit, but I have tons of vinyl because it's still the single best packaging of the music. It's very debatable whether the sound is better. I know the analog folks are going to go, no, the sound of vinyl is so much better. And with some stuff, you're right. Like with the Beatles, with like some 70s rock, you might be right. You might be. But if it's engineered correctly and put on disc, it does sound a little better. Okay, it just does. But the packaging rules. It's like you can't beat it. It's art. Album art was beautiful. So we have some framed, and I'll buy it once in a while. I like going like if you're ever in San Diego, well, we'll be in San Diego to see Chrissy. So I'll take you by Lou's Records, the place I used to go when I was a kid to get all my punk rock shit and my metal stuff. It's like Amoeba. It's like Amoeba. But it's owned by a guy named Lou, and he's been there forever. And it's next to a pretty good taco shop, so we can eat tacos. We can eat tacos. Yeah, all right.
I'm in. Hey, I got to get that because I don't know when the show is. And here's a weird thing: I found out the Empire Strips Back is going to San Diego.
When?
I don't know. I got to get the dates. But if we're all in town, because I heard Ryan talking about he might go to San Diego.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
So it's like, if we're all in town, we might want to go see that show.
Oh, hell yeah. My wife would want to go for sure.
I'll see if I can hook us up. I'm sure I can hook us up. I just got to talk to Russell, but
apparently it's Sunday, February 26th. There's
the Empire Strips Back
for then.
Well, they're going to add more shows, so I got to talk.
Chrissy's show is like 24th and 5th. That's what I thought.
Okay. I feel like there are shows they're just sold out. Yeah, looks like it.
I'll talk
shows.
I'll talk to my connect.
Our Chrissy show sold out. I didn't buy a ticket yet.
No, the Empire Strips Back.
The Empire Strips Back. Okay, yeah, those shows are sold out, but we can probably get a hookup. You think?
They'll add more shows. Okay.
Okay.
The same thing happened with LA. It was only supposed to be in LA for a couple weeks. It's playing through the end of January.
Where's it playing in San Diego? Spreckles.
I love the Spreckles.
Spreckles is great.
I don't know.
I saw Empire Strips Back at the Spreckles.
Alderaan Memorial Theater. Alderaan Memorial Theater.
I don't know what that is. Oh, I think that's a joke. The Alderaan Memorial Theater.
Yeah.
It's definitely not that. But at the Spreckles, I saw the one-man Star Wars show. Did you ever see that, Gary, or hear of it?
No, I have not.
Look it up. I'm sure there's clips on YouTube. The one-man Star Wars show was literally a guy who performs the original trilogy. One guy.
That's awesome.
He does it like he's just super animated on stage. He does the opening crawl, then he acts out every character. It's the weirdest thing you'll see. It's just the one-man Star Wars show. For everyone in the chat, if you've not heard of it, look it up. And I paid to see this guy. It was during San Diego Comic-Con, and it was a blast.
Okay, so it opens February 7th, and it's going to be at Commercial Street.
You know San Diego better than I, Gary. So
what's on Commercial Street? Oh, it's going to be in some like warehouse.
It's like a pop-up venue.
It's like a pop-up. Yes. Oh, crap. It can't be the same place. But there was a club in this area called Soma we used to go to all the time back in the 80s. So yeah, it looks like he's going to just get a warehouse and do it down there.
And name it Alderaan Memorial Theater.
Alderaan Memorial Theater. That's fucking awesome. So they'll add more shows, but like I'll keep an eye on it so we get tickets.
Right. Yeah.
26th.
Yeah. 28th. Less tickets.
No. Okay. Oh, sold out. Only a few tickets left. So the 28th is available. Monday the 28th. It says only a few tickets left. Should I get them?
I would. I mean, you could get them. I mean, but let me talk to Russell and see if they're going to add dates. You know,
ask him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back in in America. He's in Australia.
Yeah.
He'll be back in America in like a week or so. So, and I'm 100% positive they're going to add more dates.
Oh yeah, they will
for San Diego. They're just going to add. You can't like sell out that many shows and not add dates. So
we could see Chrissy and then Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, cool. Why not? Yeah.
Ooh,
we could do a little meetup too, I guess, if you want.
Yeah.
We'll pick a place where we can hear each other next time.
Yeah, that place was a little
loud.
Small.
Yeah,
small and.
Back to this. I just lost my train of thought. Doesn't matter. Brian on the Streamlabs side for $10 says, "Hail Gary, X-Ray, Gore, and chat. All I have to say is try out your Tulsa King reviews on the main channel. Might get people to bite. It's really a good show. P.S. I live in Tulsa, and we aren't that country, but still, I liked it. Live long and prosper." Yeah, I thought that was played up a little bit. Live long and prosper to you. And I don't even know, like, is that all Tulsa they're filming in, or is that like Canada?
No.
But either way, good show, good cast, good show, good ending. Yeah, I just solid all the way through. Redwood the Elf for $5. So what does everyone think of the HWL Streisand effect boycott? What's HWL?
No idea.
I just found out what TBH means.
What's HWL? I should know this, but help me chat. What's HWL?
Hogwarts Legacy?
Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, I should know.
Oh my god.
I did not think
No, it makes sense. Like you get caught with that. It's like the Streisand effect. This game was always going to sell. It just put it through the ultra stratosphere. It was always going to hit the stratosphere because the Potter fandom is fucking massive. So a few Brianna poos out there are not going to stop anything. They're going to sell more copies.
Yeah.
And some ginger Ponce Twitch streamer going, please. I mean, I hope that's a troll. I hope that is not real. Yeah, dude, you're not going to stop anybody from buying it. What will stop people from buying it is if it's a shitty game. So that will end it quick. But I was going to buy it anyway. I was getting it anyway before any of this shit started. And by the way, it's just a repeat. This shit was going on when they did the trailer a year ago. So, but there is a Streisand effect. They are selling tons of games. But as I said, I bought it because I'm a Harry Potter fan. That's it.
Same here. I bought it. You know, it's like kind of a cool open world. Like more clips were coming out. I'm thinking, all right, I'm sold. I'm in. And I love the Harry Potter movies. You know,
Love the books, love the movies. This was a game I was looking forward to. I wish they would do something like this with Doctor Who, you know.
Oh my god.
The fucking Lord of the Rings games. I'm gonna try Lord of the Rings Online. That's the one I'm gonna try. DC Universe Online is something I did a long time ago. That was fun for a minute.
But I'm just curious how this all pans out, because you have someone like, what's her name, Brianna, people making these declarative statements that are very divisive. Like, just because you play one game doesn't make you that thing they're accusing you of. I think it's a trap that these people put other people in to kind of intimidate and bully you into not purchasing a game that is based on something you more than likely love. You've read the books, you've seen the movies. I like to think that a lot of people are just completely unaware of it, that these psychopaths and bullies, they're bullies.
I think outside of Twitter, especially with the whole you're a transphobe if you buy Hogwarts Legacy is purely a Twitter social media thing,
right?
And the world doesn't give a fuck. But
these people that are just trying to yuck your yum, so to speak, these haters, they're in the vast minority. They're a small group of assholes, and people need to call out these assholes. They are just straight up bullies and assholes. F them. I bought the game, and I was aware of the game, and I was excited for it. But here's what's going to be interesting: who's going to review it and give it an honest review of the game, an honest, fair review? I mean, it could be bad, right? Also, who's going to live stream it? I will watch as and you play.
I'll play it.
You know, or just whoever. So are people going to go after streamers? Are people going to, Ryan said he's going to be on Twitch live streaming him playing it.
Good. No, I hope so. I hope they go after. I mean, please bring it on.
So who are these haters? I mean, Harry Potter is a very wholesome, a great story, lots of amazing lessons, life lessons. I think its worldwide success shows how much it just touches so many people. So what's going to happen with this group of people now? You are the assholes now. You are the bullies, and it needs to be shut down. And these people need a mirror thrown up to their face of what they're doing. Because, okay, look, you and I, we have the mental for it. We're not going to be affected. But what about someone who's like 17-year-old, 15-year-old that's just playing the game, right? Just because I like Harry Potter. I discovered it. I watched all the movies. My parents introduced me to it. What's going to happen to the kids? It's not going to affect us, Gary. But what's going to happen to the kids that are going to get bullied for liking a video game? This is just a terrible precedent. So I don't know what your thoughts are.
My thoughts on this are the precious few who are using their perceived identity to wield power. They're using it to wield power because these are insecure people who have never felt power in their life, and that is usually what turns into the most authoritative person, is somebody who's never had or never felt, because this is power over themselves, by the way. Right. They have felt powerless. They have felt picked on. They have felt weak. And because they've never stood up for themselves, what they do is they project their absolute anger at themselves throughout the entire world. And that's all this is. Brianna Wu has a lot of freaking personal problems that she needs to work out. But instead, she projects it on and Hogwarts Legacy and all the other shit. And she gets her power, her perceived power, from little dopamine hits and likes on Twitter, which are becoming fewer and fewer every day. And ultimately, she has to live with herself every day. And in 10 years, when people don't give a fuck about her now, but when they really don't give a fuck about her, that's when shit's going to get serious. So that's what I believe most of it is. It's people working out their personal problems or they're not working out their personal problems and they're projecting it on everybody else by being an authoritative, as you said, asshole. They're just being assholes. You know what? Trans people can be assholes. Everybody could be an asshole.
Everyone can.
It's possible. It's possible. Assholes are indiscriminate. They're motherfucking assholes, and that's all they are. And you know what? That's the beauty of free speech. We find out they're assholes through their speech. So they should absolutely have their say. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Matthew Hammond for $5 on the Streamlabs side. What did Az think about the video going around of the new Miss Universe owner? And I will save Gary from having to pronounce the entire name. Speech as Miss Universe, Az's requirements of big bobs, thin waist, and a surprise down below are all met. I would like to thank the Miss Universe pageant. We are the women. The feminism, the women and the feminism, with the deepest voice.
I know.
I saw when I first saw
my
that
brain
video,
didn't match the two.
Laughing so hard. I just laughed. I mean, it's Hunger Games. It's like, the absurd, like especially in the first Hunger Games, the absurdity of the media in that movie. I thought, wow, that depicts fucking Hollywood in the future perfectly. Like, that's the one thing that movie did right, was depicting the entertainment complex perfectly, which just became a wing of the state. And that's what it is. So props to Hunger Games for getting that one right. Your black nerdy homie on the Streamlabs side for $6.99. Gary, I'm amazed by your pull and connections. I was impressed that the actor who portrayed Nate Namor and Dora Milaje, warrior actor from Wakanda Forever, appeared as guests on last week's FNT. I know, right? Great work. Please pull up the thumbnail from last week's FNT. Could you pull up the thumbnail from last week's FNT? Yeah, we got Namor.
No.
And and Dora Milaje. Oh, she's gone. Okay, she just takes off on me. Hang on, I'll pull it up. You guys all saw it though. I just gotta.
No, I'm here. Sorry,
here?
I was about to go to the bathroom and then I heard you say that.
There we go. We got Namor and the Dora Milaje on Friday Night Tights last week. You know what's incredible? I should knock on wood when I shouldn't even say anything. This one's still monetized. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no damn sense. Tyler Fulcher for $20. Any plans for the FNT crew to join Crowder's new media venture? No. No. I take Crowder at his own advice. I would this is the advice I give after the completionist with G4. Stay a mom and pop. Don't join any networks. Don't. Control your own destiny. And if you're gonna sell out, as they said on Tim Pool last night, back up the Brinks truck. Hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, Joe Rogan money. Yeah, okay, sell out. Absolutely. You'd be stupid not to. But and then come back, you know, when your contract's up and go out hard. I'm fine with that. But if it's just you can't put a price on personal freedom. Like when I owned my own business, I didn't make shit. I was doing okay. Like my wife was making a lot more money than I was for a long time, because hairdressers when they're good, they make a lot of money. But I was fucking happy. I controlled my own destiny. So I made like 3 times as much at Tesla, but I wasn't happy.
It's a weird thing, like the whole thing of what they, you know, the golden handcuffs, that's real. Like yeah. I will say this, like just in my bizarre career, college dropout who wrote a book that's required reading in film school, started Film Threat when I was like 19 years old, and you know, worked every kind of garbage job you could possibly imagine. Jeremy was going through his resume pre-YouTube, which was hilarious because like, oh yeah, I've had a bunch of horrible jobs as well. But I think it builds character, and it's important to do. But like looking back, the most happy I was not working for a company making a lot of money. It's doing what I love, which doesn't feel like work, and making a decent amount of money and having control of my own destiny, and not allowing some corporation to choose my value. So by that I mean, like, look, I could make a lot more money if I wanted to, you know, work, you know, more hours or do whatever. I'm in control. And I've seen, like, you know, I've been doing better and better as I continue to do YouTube and grow my Film Threat channel. But I think there's just something about it that just more, it's more satisfying.
Yes.
Like when you buy your first car, not your parents bought your car for you. You earned money. You sweated. You buy your own. There's something about that sense of self-satisfaction. Like, I worked hard, which resulted in X, right? Rather than being handed something, you know?
Dude, when we got this house in Texas, it is something my wife and I have been working towards, like before we were married, like
right.
30 years. I've been working towards this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I hear 20 somethings today, I could never afford a house. I said that shit too when I was in my 20s. I'm like, there's no way. But I kept working and I got it. Yeah, there's nothing to replace. There's no, you know, I think Tim was talking about it. Like what Tim's got going on, like Tim would be insane to join a network. I think Crowder would be insane to join a network. He's got enough of a following. He can do his own thing and not have to be beholden to anybody. There is no price you can put on that. And there's no legitimacy. Like, I don't believe in the legitimacy of corporations. I know so many people do. Like, dude, you work in Hollywood. I did too for a minute. And that little Technicolor badge meant so much to a lot of people. That little Disney pass, that little Disney badge that you got to walk in, that was like people's entire identity. You know, they became part of the cult. And I'm like, oh, it's just a badge that lets you in a fucking door. That's all it is. But it meant a lot to a lot of people. And it's like, make your own badge, make your own. Like, I would, like, you know, I don't have all the personal freedom. I was still beholden to Diamond when I had the comic store, and I'm still beholden to YouTube here. But like you said, if I need a raise, I'll just work not only harder. This is another thing I had to learn, better.
Yes.
I had to work more efficient, better use of my time. That's why my wife was a great boss. She'd always be she still asks, is this the best use of your time? Is this the best? So that's something I'm constantly asking myself now. Is this the best use of my time right now? Because I tend to fiddle and drift a little bit. So that's important. And if you I think that's something everybody should work for. Absolutely, you got to work for somebody else. I did it for many years. Had many shitty jobs. Burger King, McDonald's, Carl's Jr., my paper route, fighting fires in prison for $1 a day, cutting baseball cards for Upper Deck, making braces for Don Joy, selling auto parts at multiple dealerships for years. Did all those jobs. Auto parts delivery. I love that job. Oh my God, I love that job. It was so easy. It was so easy. Just, you risk your life every day to get some breaks to San Marcos, California, but it's fun. It was fun. And then makes you appreciate other things. It also you get to talk to a lot of different people in a lot of different fields. It gives you it's through those conversations you gain this thing called experience. Like if you want to become a writer someday or a creative someday, you can draw on that, It's something we don't see. Now it's straight out of school or straight out of, mommy's bedroom usually mommy's bedroom because, single parent. And they go straight to Hollywood with no experience at all. So that's why it's so insular now. That's why it feels like, that show feels like it's a show by bad Hollywood writers for bad Hollywood writers, Velma. Because it is. Hames, thank you for the $19.99. I appreciate it. Bass player 2011 Iffy for $10. The best Western film ever made is Dollars Trilogy. Those are really good. And if you held a gun to my head and you told me to pick one of the three, I would say for a few dollars more. Really? Okay. Damn good movie. Anakmon, abuser of Streamlabs for $10. Remember, everyone, when Brianna Wu got in a debate with Ripa, she said that he only likes Luke Cage, and he only likes Luke Cage because he was black. Ripa called her out for her racism, and she blocked him.
Oh,
well, yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. She got called out.
Well, I mean, Ripa destroyed her. By all means, get into a debate with Eric July because they're really fun to watch. Please. Oh, he's a terrible debater. Yeah, you should go debate Eric July. He will fucking destroy you. It's so funny.
I've seen some of those live debates. It's
good.
Great. He's so good.
Well, he stays on task.
He's very succinct and he gets to the point.
Very succinct. It's like we are arguing about this and the merits of this argument, and everybody else wants to kitchen sink everything. It's very recovery, Eric, to state because you have to when you're talking to your sponsee, right? And they want to blame everything else for, I did that too for the addiction. You're like, no. Let's bring it home to the argument and the problems. He's really good at that shit. Sorry, X-Ray Girl, go on.
I was going to say a lot of people, because I've been watching a lot of Just Pearly, and it's the same with the women who think they're feminist, and once they get their words put back on them, they try to circle around and be like, no, I didn't say that. No, you did. And Eric does this. He uses their words against them. You put the words out there.
You put it out there. Oh, the roofing guys are here. Awesome. Yeah. And I think that's something we've all kind of expanded on. That's something like Jeremy did on his early Geeks and Gamers video, still does, is you just whip their language around on them because there's no logic behind it. It's all emotion. So when we apply a little logic and empathy with something, we can just throw your words right back at you. It's a good tease for my next video. One of my favorite things to do is just invert headlines a little bit that they create. Woke Hollywood is dying and it's a good thing, but there's others out there that are really good. You just change a word here and there, and it ends up making our point for us magically. It's a beautiful thing. Watch my next video. Be out tomorrow. MK Solid 82 for $4.99. Marvel just released Ant-Man footage with Evangeline Lilly presenting is dressed as a boy. I showed that yesterday. You want to pull that? Can you find that, X-Ray Girl? I think I might be able to. But it's just a tweet, I think, from Marvel, and they're advertising like the tickets are going on sale, and I don't think it's going well because they're really pushing it hard.
Yeah, I got tickets.
I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna go. Like, it's my job. So but what I tried to do is give money to another movie. So I'll probably, if Plane, for one, I want to see Plane. My wife wants to see Plane, so we're gonna go see Plane.
You'll love it.
We're gonna go see Plane, and then I'll give tickets to Plane again and go see Ant-Man if it's still around.
It's still around, yeah.
If I have to, I'll buy tickets to. I mean, no, I can't do it because Avatar's giving Disney money technically. So I'll find some other movie that I want to support. But I've been able to get away with it so far, buying tickets to other movies and sneaking in. It's stupid, it's petty, but I don't care. I don't care. Evangeline Lilly is a beautiful woman, and they decided to make her as ugly as possible. And it's the push of non-binary. It's not a good look, and it's going to be looked back on very. I hope it swings back to feminism, to actual feminism, because she looks like what's her name from House of the Dragon? She did.
Okay.
And I don't think Evangeline Lilly identifies as non-binary. I just don't. Scott Kerr for 5 Canadian pesos. Gary, on Monday, you talked about Doctor Who books. Did you read Tom Baker's Sketchman? Enjoyed until 13 showed up and told 4 how to be a doctor. Pissed me off. I did not watch it. I have it. I own it. And then I heard, I mean, you could be fucking with me, Scott, but I heard a rumor that she was going to be in it. And I'm like, bleh. Bleh. No thanks. I love Tom Baker, though. I'm blanking on what it was. They just came out with audio versions of a bunch of episodes with Tom Baker on vinyl, on red vinyl. I forgot what the name of it is. I ordered it a year ago, but I finally got it, and he signed each copy. I was like, oh, this is one of my most prized possessions. That's a guy I want to meet. That's a guy I want to meet badly, is Tom Baker. Because he's kind of like the British William Shatner. Yeah, look, wow. What have they done to her, Chris?
I don't know. It does.
She looks like Samwise.
Yeah, what is that? And she's wearing a suit.
Hair looks like it's fake.
Yeah, that looks
like a wig.
That's a wig.
Why?
I don't know. This is so. It's weird that I think actors feel like they have to pander to a certain audience that they can't be themselves. Wasn't Evangeline Lilly? Wasn't she someone who was a little questioning the jab? Wasn't she? All she did was question. She didn't. She didn't say, She
told people to lay off the people who are questioning it. That's all she said.
Yeah, it was weird. And then, so now it seems like she's back to pandering. Because I always feel with actors, they're just easily manipulated and molded. So someone in her management said, just do this. It'll love it.
This will shield you from any of that criticism that might come up. This is absolutely marketing and style. They have their own stylists too, right? So these and this is the hip thing. That's why, when you hear trans trender, that's what it's a trend. It's a trend that will go away. And what sucks is and I say this for everyone, for the legit people, you will be abandoned. You will be used and abandoned. Your identity will be used and abandoned because it's there to protect the only color that matters: green money. Exactly. You guys know that. You guys know that. It's they don't give a fuck about you. They will throw you away in a second. They will toss you aside. They will discard you. That's the importance of being an individual and not getting into this collectivist shit, because they will collectively throw you out when you're no longer advantageous for them.
Mhm.
Gary, you said you were going to show my Jennifer Lawrence video meme. I said, and you didn't. I am gonna have to drive 2 hours to meet you in person to bribe you. You don't know. Do you accept Mexican pesos? As a Syndec, I will. Yeah, we'll watch it. How are we doing on time here?
We're past the 90-minute mark.
Oh shit. Okay, so Syndec, is it on Twitter or YouTube channel? Could you find it? Syndec's on Twitter. It's Syndec. Syndec's awesome, by the way. I love you, man. You don't have to give me Mexican pesos.
If I can find it.
You know what? Give Chris RRR tickets. That's his love language. That's his currency. Rude Dude reviews for $10. Hey guys, just bought a ticket for Chrissy's Sunday show in San Diego and can't wait to be there. Hope to see you. You'll see us at some point. I suppose I'm going to buy tickets. I'm not going to assume that I'm just going to get in for free. You know, I should probably just buy tickets. Classic Comics for $5.
Multiple shows? Oh, sorry, Gary.
It's multiple shows. No, it's multiple shows, and it's in a month. I'll contact you, and I'll let you know, when me and Melissa are coming down, because the plan is to hit Pasadena first. You know, for a couple
nice.
Days. Yeah,
cool.
Hang
cool.
out. I like Pasadena's nice to visit. And then we go down to San Diego. We go to the shows, see Empire Strikes Back, and then I'll, I got to run and see my mom, but I can only see my mom for a couple hours at a time at her facility. So. But yeah. And then we have John Kokozo doing his thing. So we're going to have to carve out a couple of hours to do the interviews. That's all I'll say about that. Classic Comics for $5. They're adapting the Heir to the Empire books on Disney Plus instead of Luke, Han, and Leia. They'll give us Ahsoka, Mando, and Baby Yoda. No thanks. Yeah, Baby Yoda and Mando do nothing for me. Ahsoka does nothing for me. I don't care. I'm not the only one who said this. My baby boy Ryan agrees with me. The best Clone Wars are the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Watch them. They're fantastic. The animated ones that came out prior to the Filoni one.
Yes, the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars is my Clone Wars. It felt more authentically connected to the prequels. They even did a prequel to Revenge of the Sith, which I thought was great. That shows Anakin going through the trials. I thought that was awesome. When it got to that sort of weird, it almost looked like those Jerry Anderson puppet maquette shows, but CG animated. I just didn't like the art style. I mean, I know it's heresy for some people. I watched the first few episodes and it felt like a show for little kids, whereas the Genndy Tartakovsky felt more adult to me. So
yeah. Hey Chris, I'm gonna let you go because I know you got to go.
Yeah, I gotta run. Doing a live stream in about an hour, so check in with me. Go to Film Threat, and Gary, always a pleasure.
Love you, man.
Time with you on the Nooner. We'll talk more plans for Pasadena.
I am so excited for the Empire Strips Back. I'm we got to make that happen.
I'll talk to Russell. I know the guy who runs it, and he might be able to help us out. Yeah, we'll talk plans too. If I know you're coming to town, I'll find some things for us to do.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right, take care, everyone.
Take care, brother.
Thanks, X-Ray
Bye,
Girl.
Chris.
Take care. See you next week, and I'm sure I'll talk to you on Twitter later. Bye.
Later. Yeah, I can't wait to see my SoCal homies. That'll be fun. And since I'm going to SoCal, I'm going there basically once every 3 months to see my mom because she wouldn't come out to Texas with me. So maybe that can just become a thing. Go see my homies out there and my mom. All right, we're going to finish up these soups and then we'll look at Syndec's video. Classic. Can you hear that?
I heard something. I don't know what that was.
That's the roofers. Sorry guys, but has to be done. It's better than getting an entire roof. Believe me. I was so depressed when I heard that I might need a new roof. I was like, no, but we don't. Thank God. Classic Comics for $5. Oh, I read that one. Scarfy the Strange for $10. I think you guys are on to something. If easy access to endlessly replaceable media over streaming can reduce its worth, then imagine how worthless city dwellers feel within endlessly replaceable people. Exactly. Wow, that is a great point, dude. That is, yeah. I'll never go back to a city. I'll visit them, but even visiting them, I don't like them. I went to Austin. I'm glad we didn't have to go into downtown. We were like almost there. But I was like, I'm done with cities. I don't care. I don't want to visit them. I don't want to drive through big ass buildings. I'll go see an event, but I will leave immediately. I am done.
The traffic,
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
the homeless.
It's no way to live. It's no way to live. All boxed in like rats in a cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Little Smashing Pumpkins there. Beach Lover for £2 Gary, have you finally watched RRR? I haven't, and I apologize. I suck. Infinity Ryu for 10 Middle Earth dollars. The writer of Velma must feel very insecure considering it's self-insert and no one likes her. LOL. I know. Wow. Well, you can't underestimate Hollywood narcissism. JDA for $5. JMS also wrote trapdoors into his story Bible for replacing each of the main characters. This is true. Which we saw was used at the end of the first season. Yeah, and it's so sad what happened to that actor. Oh, so freaking sad. But like, dude, JMS, what a good and loyal guy. The way he treated all those people. Yeah, Babylon 5, just some of the best character arcs I've ever seen in television. And you know what? When it was on TV, I was a big old Star Trek snob. And I saw Londo's hair, and I'm like, that looks lame. And I just never gave it a chance. And I was an idiot. Flat out. Inakumon on the Streamlabs side makes you make your own vag? You mean like Brianna Wu did? Oh, wait. You said make your own badge. Sorry, Brianna. Before the istophobe comments come, a trans woman is directing Red Sonja. And I couldn't be happier because she directed Solomon Kane and The Terminal List. You are absolutely correct. And she is also a based trans woman that doesn't use her identity. She cares about the issue, but she also doesn't believe. Midnight Edge just did a video on it. She doesn't believe in the 2 + 2 = 5 bullshit. That's it. So yeah, I think there could be hope for Red Sonja. I like the actress they got to play her. I mean, I like the look. I have no complaints about the look at all. So, and Solomon Kane was fucking awesome. Awesome movie, and Terminal List was awesome. Bubba Doom 1 for $5. Along the lines of less is more, thank God Firefly was only 1 season. You are correct. And they have destroyed it. The walking shit show was a crying shame. Yep. I mean, in hindsight, we were all upset when Firefly left, but we got Serenity, which was a great ending to it. Stephen T for £5 Hail, you are a bearded... Hail, you are a bearded in the dark, leaking used to the light or the right. What?
You are a beard in the dark, leaking. I don't know.
Steven, are you okay?
Is it happy hour yet?
I've been drinking, Steven. It's okay if you have. I'm not judging. It might be really early in the morning.
No, it's
believe me.
It's past 6 p.m.
I am not going to judge because, like, usually when I tweet first thing in the morning, I forget words or misspell them. So I'm not going to judge you. But thank you for the £5. Syndek for $10. Thank you, Gary. You are our friend I've never met. Keep making these awesome streams with Mahler and Az. Don't forget about my boy George. Thank you for keeping us sane, brother. You're welcome, and I'll never forget George. I love George. Syndek for $2. The video is on George the Giant Slayer. Oh, it's on George the Giant Slayer.
I got it queued up.
Got it? You got it. Okay, so we'll end it with that. Okay, Syndek, and thank you for making the logo. Syndek's like good dude, talented person. Angry Yeti for $5. Difficult to see. Always in motion is the future. Not difficult to see. Many are the parallel universes. Timelines for Star Wars is the way to go. They got it right now. The way to go with Star Wars is to stop it. It's just dead stop. Thomas Pickett for $2. It is time for new IPs. It is. I agree with that. I'm looking for original IP. That's why, like Rebel Moon has my interest. It does. Just because it's new. Just because it's different. It could be shit, but it has my interest. ETWTV for £5 Much love. I like Harry Potter, but why does nobody talk about how much JK lifted straight from Tolkien, Voldemort, Dumbledore, etc., etc., and Gaiman, Timothy Hunter, Books of Magic. I talked about it a lot, and I would say they're more homage, and you made a good story anyway, and it's not replacing it. Like Harry Potter is not better than Lord of the Rings. It's not. It's just not. It's so, it's a phenomenon that grew up with a lot of kids, and it's good, but it's no Lord of the Rings. So it's fine. But I think the thing she lifted up from the most was Books of Magic from Neil Gaiman. I mean, look at Timothy Hunter. If you've never heard of, just look up Timothy Hunter, and it's Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter. Tricky for $10. Babylon 5 was awesome. Its story was great because the entire 5-season arc was planned out before the show even started. One of the reasons it stood the test of time 20 plus years later. Hail. Yeah. And guess what? Did the special effects make a bit of fucking difference to you? No, they don't make a difference to me either. I don't care. The story is so strong and good. Slade Lawton for $4.99. I am still so glad my dad signed me up for a hockey tournament on the week TLG was released, The Last Jedi. Once we heard the spoilers, we didn't go to the theater, and you are better off for it. McCoy for $9 Australian. I saw the same I was the same Star Trek snob back in the day and refused to watch B5 and Farscape. Recently watched them, and I have to say, some of the best sci-fi around. It is, yeah. Farscape is in top 5 TV shows of all time. Mark Wilkins for $5. Just think, Congress, Uniparty, thinks we have a worker shortage. Yeah, the Uniparty can go fuck itself in every hole. Gaslife for £5 who'd have thought of the day hardcore fans would rather watch YouTubers critique their once beloved movie / TV shows rather than watch them themselves? LOL. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll watch Disparu's Velma stuff and his reviews, and I won't even watch like Willow or Velma. Hey, Chrissy Mayer booked a show in Pasadena. Oh, that's right. She did. I forgot to tell him that. She booked a show in Pasadena. Well, he's going to come down to San Diego with us. We're going to do a thing. Hey, McConaughey's first movie, 1996, John Sayles Lone Star, is a 5-star movie. Have you seen it? I have not seen it, Red Z. For $5, I will watch it. Temple of Jack for £2 Everything is woke. Change the damn record. I would love to. And that is entirely up to Hollywood. But when we say everything, we mean like 95%. There is some stuff that sneaks out that's pretty good, like Tulsa King. Dave Grimes for £5 Hail. John Campia has a video asking, is Netflix creating too many shows to sustain success? Must have forgotten about D Plus doing 5 million Marvel shows. Yeah. And I will say, this is something I have been saying on this channel for, even back in my tame podcast years. Netflix is not sustainable. And when I was saying that, they were in the red. They've only been in the black for 3-4 years. Maybe 5. Maybe. But that was when they were the hub. They are no longer the hub, and now they have to create more content. And when you create content, they have to go weekly. They have to go weekly because you won't bleed subscribers. You drop Altered Carbon season 1 all at once. People watch it in the weekend. They talk about it for about a week, and it's out of the zeitgeist. It's gone out of thin air. You release that shit weekly, that show would they probably would have made better adjustments. And I don't know. I don't know if it was going to survive past Joel Kinnaman, but I like the show. More people would have talked about it if it was released weekly, and you wouldn't have had people bailing out. And the same goes for any other of their shows. Cobra Kai should be released. They should do 2 episodes a week. 2 episodes a week. It would be bigger. It would be bigger. Yes, they are still popular, but they would be more popular. Steven, that way for $1.99. They filmed the majority of Tulsa King in Oklahoma City. Okay. Well, that's not Tulsa now, is it? Verbal Riot for $5. What's up, lads? Speak with your money. That's the only way these people learn. Exactly. Terry Shapper was great on Drinkers Cast the other day. You guys should get him on FNT, says General Soap for $5. Okay. I haven't seen that yet. I'm going to go back and watch it. Infinity Ryu for $5 New Zealand dollars. We're going to make Gary a racist. I mean, a gamer, just like all the AI. Yep. Well, some people would say that I'm already that thing. The Field for $5. Gary, short distance driving in LA and Orange counties is absolute hell. The blinker means that two-ton trucks are coming over. Yeah. But people are way too busy on their phones while they're driving or looking at themselves in the mirror. Big Worm, I kid, but yes, LA, Orange County driving. Don't miss it. Hail again about Hogwarts Legacy. I am Harry Potter nerd. I've read the books multiple times, listened to the books once a year or so. I had no idea the game was coming out, and I'm a card-carrying gamer. This outburst got me to buy the deluxe. Live long and prosper. Hey, Big Worm, excellent. Thank you for $5 on the Streamlabs side. A Knockbamon, the abuser of Streamlabs, for $5. That must be Evangeline Lilly's penance for questioning the jab. I believe so. Critical Orc Theory for $5. Why do I have sudden urge to take Evangeline Lilly to Isengard?
I like that I understood that reference.
Daryl Smith for $2. Your content is the only thing I look forward to. Wow, I'm sorry, but thank you. Kenny Justice for $5. Hey, Gary, did you hear about the ship so badass that not even 2 nukes sank it? I know, random, but that's awesome, right? No, I didn't. I'll look into it. It does sound awesome. Talking and Drawing with Shane Davis for $5. JMS was fun to work with on Superman Earth 1. Oh, what's up, Shane Davis? Actual real life comic book artist. How's it going, dude? And you work with JMS? That's fucking awesome. Now, Earth 1, I like Superman Earth 1. I sold that book. I hope I helped you make some money off that. Hardcover. Derek PG Beller for $4.99. 2022 Disney taught me impalement through the stomach isn't at all deadly. Shuri, Valkyrie, Reva, Grand Inquisitor, R.I.P. Qui-Gon and Killmonger, pussies. I added the pussies part. Matthew H. for $5. Farscape doesn't get the love it deserves. Would you ever? Why is my phone going off? Stop it. Would you ever invite someone from the cast on? Miss Ben and Claudia. Gigi Edgley does a lot of web stuff. Absolutely. I wouldn't do it with, I'm not big on getting movie stars unless, of course, they're from like shows I freaking adore. But yeah, absolutely. I get, me, Mahler, and some people who really know the show on and would chat about it for a couple hours. Sounds fun. Let's do it. I ran into her. Where was I? What was the last place I was at? LA Comic-Con. I saw her at LA Comic-Con. She was there. SG Sergeant Schultz for $10. I see nothing. I hear nothing. Gary, you should check out the band Ginger. I would start with Teacher or Vortex and watch the music videos. Okay. Hell yeah. Pottery in Central Washington for $5. Mindy Kaling's brother lied about being black to get into med school. I heard that story. Yeah, they're all hypocrites, but honestly, I mean, you're getting into med school. That's probably a school worth getting into. It's not, at least it's not like some gender study shit. But yeah, not surprised at all. All right, that's it for the soups. That's it for the show. I'd like to thank all the Modrotics, you fantastic people. Thanks everyone for being here and spending a little time. We got to pull up that Syndic video. Did you find it yet?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Massive fan of the channel, visiting San Diego for the first time. What's some great comic book shops to check out? Southern California Comics, Claremont Mesa Boulevard, which is not far, which is actually across the freeway from where Chrissy's event is. So I was thinking some of us should go to Southern California Comics before Chrissy before a show. Owned by Jamie Newbold, best back issue selection in the county. There are some other good shops around there, but that's the absolute best. That's the pinnacle. Southern California Comics, run by the great Jamie Newbold. Okay, let's check this out.
Oh, there was one more that snuck in.
Get Ben Browder and Claudia Black. I would probably just stare at her and not be able to say anything, but on and bam, Farscape and Stargate in one hit. I Can Dream. Well, let's do it.
All
Ben
right.
Browder was in a good Doctor Who episode too. All right, hit it.
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games. Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
Inconceivable.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie. Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I can't let that seep into my brain either.
He's right. I've seen all these movies too.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
Ah, Cherry 2000. Yep.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
Mila. Oh, the net. Holy shit. Pam Grier. Goat. I met Pam Grier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mark Ruffalo. Sanke Potente. Nani!
Get away from her, you bitch!
How could you do it?
Excellent.
Great job.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
You're
And
200.
proves that it is just a lie.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, Jorge. And Sindek.
And
George!
Cindy.
Yeah. Fucking well done. Play the upcoming Killer Clowns game. JS Pena for $1.99. I'm getting all these gaming, like, guys. Gals.
You're a gamer now,
I
Gary.
am like a 100th of the way through Witcher 3.
That game's going to take
I
you
need
forever.
to make these things called videos and live streams because I love it and it's my job. The gaming will be back next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. Witcher 3, Boomer Gaming. Sorry, Gary. Too much Special K. LOL. It's Special K. Special K. Yes, I got past the door. Okay, I did a couple of doors, and I also killed
good.
myself in the first 30 seconds of the game by walking off a cliff. I'll send you a link on Twitter. Same name. It's such a good video about the ship. All is ship history is great. That's awesome. Yesterday, I went down the Forest Galante wormhole with Joe Rogan and found out about weird animals. By the way, it's dropping today. It's dropping today. Let me get. It is episode. It's Joe Rogan, Jimmy Corsetti, the great Jimmy Corsetti from Bright Insight, and Uncharted X are on Joe Rogan today. So go watch that. That will be homework for the paranormal show that will not air this Sunday because I'm going to Alien Con, but we might change the date. I got to talk to Krigler to see what works for him because, he's on a very different time zone than I am. But we might change the day of the paranormal show to maybe Saturday. I don't know yet, or Monday, whatever we can switch. Because Garrett and I are going to Alien Con this Sunday. Sunday. So we're excited about that. But also watch because Jimmy Corsetti, we DM'd real quick. And he watches, and I've been watching him for years. I think he's great. Bright Insight is a fantastic channel. So and Uncharted X is absolutely a fantastic channel as well. So definitely go watch that podcast. That looks really, really good. I'm going to do that next. So thank you all for the super chats and the donations. We appreciate you all. I'll watch Stargate and I'll watch Doctor Who. Deal, Jens Anderson of Tari. And thank you for joining us here with the Nerdrotic Nooner with Chris Gore. X-Ray Girl, do you do your Pokemon catchphrase?
I don't have one, but yeah.
There you go.
Got it. I don't know.
Who's on FNT this week, X-Ray Girl?
It is Yellow Flash.
Yes, it's Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash. So it will be we'll be turning up the nerd to 11 or 12 this weekend, and I'm very excited about that. In upcoming weeks, who do we have?
I know we have next week we have Drinker.
Yep.
Week after we got Melanie Mac.
Yes.
And then the week after we got Amala.
Oh, what a lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding. So don't miss the Friday Night Tights, y'all.
I'm excited.
And I'll see you day after tomorrow. Oh, video will be out noon Central tomorrow. So please tune in. And yeah, rest in peace, Lofty.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Amla, she's great. She's great. Melanie Mac, great. Drinker, he's okay. He's all right. Up and coming YouTuber. No, one of the best YouTubers out there, period. And Yellow Flash is just a good dude. Yellow Flash is a good dude. I don't want to spoil his reputation, but Yellow Flash is good people. Can't wait to talk to him. And we'll get Dave Lando back as soon as we can. I mean, he's like an actual working comedian who's really talented, but he was so good. He was so good.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
That was a fun episode. Go watch it. And last week was great with Drew and Clifton. Clifton was on fire, and Clifton was great.
So funny.
Yeah, he is hilarious. All right, thanks everyone. Y'all have a very good evening. And is there anybody streaming that we can tell people to go check out?
Like a raid? Let me take a look.
I mean, we can't officially do a raid.
Chrissy is streaming right now, doing an interview with Finn McKenty.
Oh, go check out Chrissy. Chrissy Mayer. Tell her we sent you. Send our love. And we will see you next time. Ciao, everyone.
Bye.